The Distinguished Innovation Fellows Program is an ASU program for individuals 50 or better who have a dream that they would like to pursue. It could be a dream that fulfills a long-held but possibly unfulfilled personal aspiration, but the ideal is that it is a goal that results in a better world. The Distinguished Innovation Fellows that you are about to see speaking today had such dreams and had a commitment to pursue them through the one-year program. Today is the culmination of a year spent researching, learning, and shaping or refining that vision. You will hear today from Neil Urban, the aptly named architect with a vision for a sustainable city plan. And now, I would like to welcome Neil Urban.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Neil Urban, and I want you to imagine. Imagine a city that breaks free from the limitations of the earthbound street grid to reach for the sky. Imagine a city where sky bridges and tall buildings blend into a multi-layered cityscape where people can live, work, and play. Imagine a city in the sky. Imagine Z-aXis city. I have been reaching for the sky ever since I was a young boy. Back then, my family would often drive over the George Washington Bridge to visit New York City. And on those days when we were stuck in traffic, my father would say to me, "Son, don't worry. By the time you're old enough to drive, there will be flying cars. And people will go to the moon, and everyone will have their own computer, and we will live in cities in the sky." Well, by the time I started to drive, people had been to the moon, but there were no flying cars and no personal computers and no cities in the sky. Years later, when I was stuck in traffic with my own family, I would say to my daughter the same thing. So when she started to drive, she reminded me there were no flying cars, even though there were computers, but our cities were still earthbound and sprawling. Now that my granddaughter is learning to drive, flying cars do exist, and everyone has a computer in their hand, but our cities are still earthbound and sprawling. It seems like I've been waiting a long time for cities to catch up with the power of imagination. But here's the thing. I believe in that future. I believe in reaching for the sky. I believe in Z-aXis city. Ever since that day on the bridge, I've dreamed of those cities. This dream led me to Arco Santi in the Arizona desert in the 1970s. It was a bold experiment in three-dimensional urban design. While it ultimately failed to build the city in the sky, we learned hard lessons about building innovative cities. That experience inspired me to study architecture at Arizona State University, and I went on to pursue a career in planning and architecture. Yet I never gave up on my dream. Now, as a Distinguished Innovation Fellow, I can once again follow that dream. To understand Z-aXis city, it is necessary to think about that for thousands of years, cities have been laid out using a two-dimensional grid. The grid plan was used in Mesopotamia, ancient Egypt, and the Indus Valley for order and efficiency. The Greeks linked the grid plan to logic and democracy, and the Romans used it to organize cities and administer their empire. Renaissance ideal cities were based on grid patterns to emphasize symmetry, perspective, and order. Industrial cities used the two-dimensional grid because it was a simple way to divide land for quick development. And today, the grid continues to shape urban development, but it is becoming obvious it can no longer face the pollution, congestion, and isolation of modern megacities. According to UN projections, the world urban population will grow by over 2 billion by 2050. That's more people than live in India and the United States combined. 3/4 of cities people will move to have yet to be built. The ancient two-dimensional grid plan simply can't handle the growth. Urban design that embraces three-dimensional living is needed to meet the demands of the emerging megacities. And now, why 3 dimensions? Because nature thrives in 3 dimensions. Our bodies are complex and efficient because they are 3-dimensional. If your body were built like the typical city, it would be a thin layer spread over a vast area. It would be an incredibly inefficient and unsustainable way to live. Yet that's precisely how we build our cities. And they remain stubbornly 2-dimensional, leading to sprawl, congestion, and isolation. As you might recall from your geometry, the Z-axis is the 3rd dimension. Thus, Z-axis city embraces the 3rd dimension, creating a thriving ecosystem that mirrors the efficiency and interconnectedness of the modern world. Modern cities are often considered a machine for living, but to overcome the limitations of the 2-dimensional grid, the city must also be considered as a living organism. Therefore, Z-axis city draws inspiration from both technology and nature. Advanced building materials, efficient transportation systems, and digital technology are used to create innovative building topologies. And the ecology of the rainforest guides how these topologies are organized to create dense and sustainable environments. Z-aXis City creates this complex environment by emulating the rainforest. Underground, the roots of the rainforest anchor the trees and draws up energy similar to the foundations and underground utilities of Z-aXis City. The forest floor supports a web of activity, just like the bustling ground level of Z-aXis City. And the understory, beneath the canopy, is full of life, similar to the low-rise towers of Z-aXis City. And the rainforest canopy is a dense, interconnected world high above the ground. Just as Z-aXis City skyways create interconnected communities. The emergent layer comprises the tallest trees, reaching above the canopy. Likewise, the tall towers of Z-aXis City soar above the skyways. To create the connected canopy, Z-aXis City applies a new building topology, the blended bridge. The blended bridge seamlessly combines the various functions of circulation, commerce, housing, and public spaces into a unified whole. While the blended bridge challenges traditional building designs, it uses existing technologies. New ideas, not new technologies, are key to transforming our cities. New cities are rapidly redefining the urban landscape all over the world. These ambitious projects are designed to accommodate millions of residents. Z-aXis City is poised to lead this movement, offering a unique and innovative approach. It is a catalyst for change, inspiring others to create more livable, sustainable, and resilient cities. Partnerships with governments, developers, and communities can shape the future. Now, the history of urban planning is littered with unrealized utopia. So why is Z-aXis City different? First of all, it is not a monolithic megastructure. Working within human scale, it creates new layers of connection. Secondly, it does not overlook the complexities of human nature. Rather than trying to impose an idealized model, it accommodates the diverse and sometimes unpredictable human behavior. And lastly, it is not the creation of a singular form giver. While Z-aXis City creates new relationships among buildings, it respects property rights. The architecture and economics of individual buildings is at the discretion of each owner. Z-aXis City is currently in the conceptual stage. The next steps include, firstly, to create a Z-aXis development code to define three-dimensional urban principles. The second is to design and engineer the blended bridge topology. And third, to create a prototype master plan to illustrate the feasibility and potential of Z-aXis City. The proposed budget is in the range of $3 million, and the expected time frame for completing the prototype master plan is 12 to 18 months. The Z-aXis City vision is ambitious, and its success hinges on building strong partnerships. To move forward, I am seeking resource partners to provide funding, technical partners with expertise in relevant fields, and strategic partners to advocate for the project. As we sat in traffic on the George Washington Bridge all those years ago, my father inspired me to dream about the future. Z-aXis City is about bridging to that future, that long-imagined future where nature and technology converge. The vision is clear, and your support is needed to bring it to life. Are you ready to reach for the sky? Thank you.